We're back, and so is the Champions League draw, but it's slightly different this time. We're going to break down how, why, what it looks like, and how Arsenal could actually get some pretty tough games. You know, there's 2 extra games. We'll explain how that's all going to work too. I'm here with Laurie, Robbie, Cecil, and Turkish to find out who we will be playing from September all the way through to January in a group phase. Well, league phase, let's call it, actually. That's the official terminology. And yeah, in 30 minutes, we'll find out who's a part of it. Who's excited for something new and something a bit different? Because this is a real shake-up from what we're used to. Normally, we'd be in a pot. We're in pot 2. And we'd be, hoping for maybe the best team from pot 1, although we did disagree last year on quite how we wanted that to look. Yeah. And then we'd be going through pot 3, pot 4. But now it's a case of, as Turkish was saying off camera, there's no real advantage. It's just a case of balance. You're going to have to play some good sides. You're going to have to play some less good sides. And have it out over a league phase. It's quite different, Robbie.
Yeah. If I just read to you, just to give people a little breakdown of how these new format is going to go, because I know a lot of people don't really understand it. It says under the new UEFA Champions League format, starting from this season, 2024-25, teams from the same country can face each other in the league phase. So that's a different thing, because normally that's not until the quarterfinals. The new format, often to refer to as a Swiss model, replaces the traditional group stage. Instead of the usual 8 groups of 4 teams, there will be a single league phase involving 36 teams. Each team will play 8 matches against 8 different opponents, 4 of them at home and 4 away, and these opponents are determined based on the seeding and the draw. Since all 36 teams are all in the same league table, it's possible for teams from the same country to be drawn to play against each other in this league phase. Unlike the previous format where teams from the same country could only meet in the quarterfinals onwards, the system allows for domestic clashes right from the start of the competition. That's a big change.
Don't love that.
Back-to-back Anfield trips. Who needs that, eh?
Well, you'd only go... I guess if you went
in the league. Yeah.
You got her in the league. And
Yeah. Or City.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well, that's the thing. You've got to think, right? We've got... are we saying this is plausible? Tottenham away... City away midweek,
and then City
away on the weekend.
Yeah, that's possibility.
Listen, that's my understanding of it a little bit. But anyway, we're gonna find out who Arsenal are playing, and I think it's in a few days they're actually going to confirm the order of the fixtures and when they'll take place.
Saturday they'll confirm the actual order of the fixtures.
So let's try visualize this, people. Right? Imagine one big league of 36 teams, because it used to be 32 teams. They've added 4, so 36 teams. Everyone is going to play 2 teams from each pot, so 8 games, there's 4 pots. So 2 from the best, 2 from the second best, all the way down to the third and fourth best. You're going to play that each team, so 8 different teams, once, either at home or away. So we might have the Bernabeu, but we're not necessarily inviting Real Madrid to the Emirates unless we meet them in the knockout phases. Once you've tied up those points, it's 3 points for a win, point for a draw, all that, the league will look like something from 1 to 36, and that top 8 teams will go immediately through to the round of 16. Then everyone from 9th through to 24th, that's 16 teams, will then go on and play in a playoff, which is basically a round of 32, to then try and make it through to the knockouts into the round of 16, where they'll play one of the top 8 teams that made it through that league. And then it's 2-legged football, though it's 2-legged football until the playoff as well. So, have at it. What do we think, Turkey?
People say it's more like a league now, but I feel the opposite. I feel like it really is more of a knockout. It feels like we're coming up to knockout draw more than it does a league draw, because we're playing everyone once. Playing home and away, that's what you kind of link to a league. This one, it feels different. I mean, it's something we're going to have to get used to. I guess the threat of the Super League made them think about things, because even around that time, the murmurs that this was coming in was always a thing. This was their way to kind of, bring more money into it, give the people that have been crying for more money that money, and so on.
It feels like Super League.
It does, but it's interesting. I mean, until we get who we get in the next hour or so, I don't know how to feel, because I think I crave those Champions League games against a Real Madrid or Inter Milan or
same.
These big European Barcelona, Bayern Munich. These are the ones that you're in the Champions League for. So it's interesting. I want to see, do we play in the Bernabeu against Real, and then do Bayern Munich come to the Emirates, or is it, do we go away to Leipzig and play against who else is in the pot?
Well, we'll go through actually the pots. Robbie's got them in front of us, so we'll go through each pot. But listen, call me crazy, but I was just reacting to the actual system. I quite like it.
Yeah, I do as well.
There's the player welfare side of things we've got to talk about, which is how much extra football they're playing. Of course, the round of 32 playoff, that does make it awkward if you don't finish in that top 8. Then you've got what Arteta alluded to, which was things like tactically, you could prepare for a team and almost go back to your notes for the second game you played against them. Now it's 8 different teams of different preparations, so that's another mental load on the players. We'll go through all that, but just from a pure viewer's perspective, I'm excited, man. I might get Man City, Real Madrid 1 week. I might get, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, the week after. It feels like you're going to get a lot of great clashes, and it feels like whoever does win it at the end will have absolutely earned it. I mean, it's going to be hard work to get this one over the line. Laurie, what's your reaction to the changes from a fan's perspective and a viewership perspective?
Well, me being me, when I first started to look at this, I was of that view that it was like a cynical exploitation of the fans for more money. That was my viewpoint going in. But like you, the more I analyse it, the more I'm trying to get all these different configurations in my head. And then the more you think about who you could get, you start to realise actually it might not be such a bad idea after all.
Can it be both?
Well,
can
it
be
definitely
cynically, money driven, but also actually quite a good idea. And
absolutely. And you know what? Credit to the people that sat down and drew this up, because they've come out with a master plan. So, yeah, initially I had my misgivings, but the more I kind of look into it, I'm a bit like you guys. I'm quite excited by it. And as you said, whoever emerges as the winner of the 24-25 Champions League can truly say they're the best team in Europe.
It really is a league now. It's like now we're in 2 leagues, in the Premier League and this. This is a proper league, and I am of the thinking it is a cynical way of making money. That's my feelings on it, right? And that there's more games, there's more everything, you know what I mean? So that, I think, listen,
do you know what I've just realised?
What?
We're going to have fan cams outside Leipzig's ground, Turkish going, Robbie, we're 10th!
Yeah.
We're 10th, Robbie!
Do you know what? My mind was going there as well. I was just thinking wow.
We'll be the round of 32 at this stage.
That's literally, James, my mind went there as well.
No.
That's so funny. I actually thought wow, once the game's finished, you'll be checking Premier League tables and be like, actually, hold on, we've got to check the Champions League table as well and see Barca, Real Madrid in there. It's I am excited by it though. Things are changing so quick. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's here now.
Yeah.
It's here now. There's nothing we can do about it. It's here now. It's the new format. We're going to have to embrace it. But to me, this new format has come about. It's like what Turkish said. It's to appease the Super League thing when that was going to happen.
But I think they had these plans in a bit before as well, though. I think Gundogan spoke out.
They had these plans in before.
Yeah.
Again, because they knew it was brewing up about a Super League because all these big clubs are complaining.
Yeah.
So now it's there's more teams in it. You got, had the coefficients not got messed up for the Premier Leagues, there would have been 5, Premier League teams in it. So it is to try and appease the big clubs across Europe to make sure that they can get in it and make sure they get a lot of games to make a lot of money.
There is a frustration though to say a small one, just if we get to away, for them not to be able to come to the Emirates, I feel like that will stink if that happens, something like that, because obviously you'll play them away and not play back at the Emirates. That would be annoying if you get something like that. But if you get someone like you mentioned, Real Madrid and the Bernabeu, as a fan, I do want to see that personally. Having Real Madrid even come to the Emirates would be a benefit for me. But I don't know, it's an interesting one. We're now looking at getting in that top 8. That's where the pressure lies. You've got to get in that top 8. I want to be seeded. Once you get in there, you're seeded. I don't want to be in that mix zone where you have to play more games to try and get into the round of 16.
No, that's back in the top 4 battle. That's how I see it. Realistically, we should be looking at top 4.
No, top 8.
No, we should be looking at top 4.
Finishing 8th is going to be I'll
be quite happy with that. I'll be happy with top 8. I'll be happy with 8th.
I don't think is Arsenal's
don't
history.
Get our fans started.
Don't click that.
Seaman already mentioned on the interview about how fans celebrated top 4.
No, but you got to think, right?
This is different.
I imagine there's no benefit. There's no added benefit to finishing second to finishing 8th. I mean, essentially, it's book your place in the round. But
I mean, if you aim for top 4, which we should, because we look at Europe and even the odds. Let's look at what the bookmakers have gone by. Arsenal are 3rd favourites, and some might say 4th. You go for top 4, you fail, you're still in the top 8. So it's not about now. Everyone should be saying, "Nah, let's go for top 8."
I can't wait to see the growing narratives. Right? This is going to be so interesting.
It's so good.
Can the only thing be like if you've comfortably made it into the top 8, that then for them last few games become a bit meaningless? That's the other thing as well. I don't know. It's going to be one of these things that we're going to find out as it goes along, isn't it?
If we get top of the Champions League table and I print a T-shirt,
What?
huh?
You're
no
on
more
the edge
T-shirts,
anyway,
bro.
mate.
No
You're
more
on the edge.
T-shirts.
I can print a Christmas T-shirt of us.
We want the Champions League phase. 20.
Why
Am
you
I,
gonna call me and do this?
James, am I right in thinking that there's plans to revamp the music as well, isn't it?
No, they've remixed it slightly. I think they've added
Yeah,
some
it's got a
flutes.
couple little flutes in it, but it's the same music. Really.
Okay,
People
I
lose it.
saw something.
They
like that.
haven't quite got Calvin Harris on it, which would have, I mean, that would be interesting. But
Do you want me to give you the pots?
Yeah,
Right.
go on.
So these are the pots. Pot 1: Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, PSG, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Dortmund, Leipzig, and Barcelona. That's pot 1. Pot 2 is Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, Atalanta, Juventus, Benfica, Arsenal, Club Brugge, Shakhtar, and AC Milan. Pot 3, Feyenoord, Sporting, PSV Eindhoven, GNK Dynamo, Salzburg, Lille, Krasnodar, Young Boys, and Celtic. And pot 4 is Slovan Bratislava, Monaco, Sparta Prague, Aston Villa, Bologna, Girona, Stuttgart, Sturm Graz, and Brest from France.
go on, pot 1, everyone. Tell
Nearly
me.
didn't make it to the end there. Right?
Lot of teams, man. A lot of teams.
You go on your
That is
pot
sick.
1, everyone. Who do you want home and away? Let me know. I want Real Madrid away and Dortmund at home.
I fancy a Madrid away. Just
Just
to
for some fun.
like, yeah, you know.
I want Bayern at home. I don't
Madrid
know why
away,
I don't know why
Turkish?
Yeah, I
Bayern.
want that. Yeah, that'd be
I
nice.
want
Madrid away.
But I want Bayern at home.
I'd rather get
Revenge.
Madrid now than in the knockouts.
Yeah, preferably. Yeah, let's test the waters with it.
I
But yeah.
want to avoid City and Liverpool, man. That's so boring.
Yeah.
But I'd love a Real Madrid, even Inter Milan, San Siro trip would be great. I really want in pot 4 just because I live there. I want Bologna away.
Oh,
Honestly,
no, I
if
wouldn't
you
mind.
guys go to Bologna away, like the ground's incredible. Like it's in one of those open roof ones where, like, it's just below the cathedral, which kind of looks over. It's so picturesque and stunning. So I hope we get Bologna away as one of them. What are the trips
Dortmund
in
away.
there?
Dortmund away. I haven't seen the. You've seen the yellow. You've experienced the yellow. Wall.
Yeah,
You've done
Dortmund.
like 3-4 times, haven't you?
Dortmund. No, I don't want to
get them all the
Dortmund.
time.
Dortmund was boring, man. Been there too many times. I want Real Madrid.
The new stadium.
I don't want Bayern either. But any money, we're gonna get Bayern again.
Yeah,
innit?
we'll get Bayern.
Of course we will.
We'll
Of
get
course we
Bayern.
will. But no, Inter would be great. Let's talk about then the follow, like, what's the word? The effects of all this, right? Because we just talked about how one of the potential downsides to this, especially if you're a manager and a player preparing for it, it's not just the physical load of having to play 2 extra games. That's if you then qualify for the top 8. Then if you don't, if you're in that 9th to 24th, you're then playing another double-legged affair. So before you get into the round of 16, you're potentially playing 10 games rather than 6 before. That's a lot more extra football. We know now that it's much more high intensity football. You then got the fact that you're playing 8 different teams. So potentially, and maybe a 9th, obviously, if you're playing in that round of 32 playoff. So that's potentially 8 to 9 teams you've got to prepare for. That's like another kind of mental load of prep or whatever. You know, you're not, as Arteta was sort of suggesting, going back to kind of previous plans or whatever. And also, you know, in the previous groups, you could win your first 3 and you're basically through. You're like, all right, we're done. You know, we've won our first 3, 2 of them away from home. We're very comfortable. Arsenal, you know, you might not be in that position by game week 4 or 5. There's still another.
Yeah, when
3-4
I was
games to
reading
play.
up on it, that was one of the things they said. That was one of the outcomes that they wanted to achieve. They want to keep people interested right up until all the end of the game. So, as you quite rightly said beforehand, if you won your first couple of games, especially if you was one of the kind of seeded groups in those first tranche of games, then you're thinking, yeah, you can rest players for the next couple of games. With this system, it's far more difficult to do that.
Yeah.
But what if you know you're certified in the top 8? Though you might be able to, you know, you've won, like, say, your first 4-5 games. You might be able to rest them up for the last 3.
I wonder if there is a benefit to finishing. Well, let us know in the comments if you do know this. If there is any benefit to actually finishing top of that league in any way, whether it's you get a more favourable team.
Yeah, I think
from-
that's the
you know,
idea.
There's got to be
should
something in
be,
there
yeah,
to
if you
kind of
finish-
keep
if you
you.
finish
more-
top
Already it goes from 3 wins to probably 5 wins. Should get you top 8.
Yeah.
So it keeps
5
people
wins,
interested. A couple more games
2
if that.
draws, 5 wins, a draw. Yeah.
So I think the idea is the higher up you finish in that first tranche, that 1 to 8, then you get the reverse of that 16.
Nah, it's back to a draw.
complete draw. Just a
Yeah,
No, I
because
think it's seeded. I think it's seeded.
first to eighth go through automatically.
Yeah.
9th to 24th
Playoff.
go into a
Yeah, I'm
playoff.
saying
So
that when you get to that, when you get beyond that phase, the seeding kind of kicks in. So if you finished in the first,
yeah, the
of
top
that-
8 will be
yeah.
one pot, and then the 8 that go through from 9 to 24 will be in the second pot.
Yeah.
And then that would be the home
Well,
advantage.
the
of
road
it.
That's
that
going to be
round of 16,
interesting.
yeah, that'll be
And
round
worth
16
knowing,
for sure.
everyone, that this isn't going to be a case of a former pro sort of struggling to open the the Champions League balls and pulling out some paper. It's actually going to be a computer that does this. Reason being, you were saying, Cecil?
They said it would take them
four-
4 hours. Yeah, they said if they did it the normal way to get all these fixtures in, they would take it 4 hours. So put it to computer and AI, and it's all, you know, all set up and everything. It should be quicker, hopefully. It will be. I'm sure it will be. That's why they've gone to computer.
What's
though,
the
so,
odds
yeah.
on it messing up?
I mean, the news. I mean, they did this with the ticketing system. Remember they got digital
Nah,
tickets.
what's
the
the odds
first,
on it messing up?